In the Chinese city of Baishan, the prefectural capital, a tremendous storm put the structural integrity of neighboring structures to the test. When all of a sudden, sheets of metal started flying from rooftops, there were a lot of people going about their regular activities, including drivers and pedestrians. A frightening event was recorded in its entirety by a person in the area who kept recording with their camera. The driver of our fortunate vehicle happened to be outside the area at the time of the accident, while hundreds of other vehicles were destroyed by a collapsing billboard and a metal roof. The heroic folks who hurried to rescue victims trapped in their vehicles, as the camera person in the center of the scene captured the whole perspective of the destruction. Despite the mayhem, only one individual ended up needing medical attention for a minor injury. It appeared as though a monster had been rampaging through the city. You can see a line of parked cars that all have metal sheets draped over the tops of them. It was clear that the street and all of the neighborhood businesses were closed. The authorities have arrived to survey the damage and get the process of cleaning up started. The power that can be generated by something as seemingly small as a breeze is illustrated in this video. The day of April 27, 2014, brought about life-altering modifications to the communities of Valonia and Mayflower in the state of Arkansas. Both of these cities were struck by a massive EF4 tornado, which leveled everything in its path to the ground, including homes, schools, and places of business. The route of destruction measured 66 kilometers in length. Observers of twisters from the website tornadohunters.com were capturing footage of the storm while traveling down the highway. They had a hard time recognizing it at first, but after a while they understood that they weren't moving closer to the storm. Rather, they were already in the thick of it.
Yeah, you know what? Turn around right now. Turn around right here.
Stop.
Turn around. Turn around.
Go.
Yeah, go.
It's to the floor.
Go! Go, man.
It's to the
Fucking
floor.
Go.
It's to the floor.
Our storm chasers initially believed that they were approaching a scary cloud. However, as they witnessed the swirling winds and the fleeing drivers, they recognized that it was in fact a tornado. As the driver makes a U-turn, the passengers' voices can be heard displaying signs of panic. The Valonia Mayflower storm was the most significant national storm event of 2014, as well as the worst tornado to strike the state of Arkansas since 1968. It was the third F4 tornado ever documented in the state. A recently built school was completely destroyed by the tornado, and it is anticipated that an additional 3,000 homes and businesses were affected. Chief Keith Hillman of the fire department remarked that it appeared as though a bomb had detonated. Rebuilding houses and businesses occupied the following 5 years after the disaster. At this time, nearly 90% of the homes in both communities are equipped with either an underground storm shelter or an independent one. The tremendous snowfall and rough mountains make for excellent conditions for winter sports, but they also present the risk of unpredictable and potentially deadly avalanches. In mountainous places all around the world, areas are cleared and controlled avalanches are produced in order to prevent unanticipated disasters from occurring. In the state of Utah, this job falls under the purview of the Department of Transportation. The Utah Department of Transportation shut down a road in Deer Creek on March 27, 2023, with the purpose of intentionally causing an avalanche to occur. A highway patrol officer pulled over nearby and used his camera to take a recording of the incident. A lonely mountain road is all that our cop can see in the distance. However, don't be fooled by its calm and collected appearance. Things are about to get quite exciting. An avalanche rumbles its way down the mountain and falls onto the road, generating a tremendous cloud of snow in the direction of his patrol car. To our great relief, the cloud turned out to be a thin coating of snow. These avalanches are set off when there is a greater likelihood of an avalanche occurring naturally on its own. They are more likely to occur when a new layer of heavy snow falls on top of an existing layer of less dense snow that is already present. The thin layer develops because the warmth of the sun melts the snow during the day, and then the cold temperatures of the night transform the melted snow into a sheet of ice. This cycle will continue until numerous layers of frozen snow settle atop the piled snow. It only takes a tiny disturbance for the snow to separate, which causes these layers to break up and flow downward. All it takes is a little bit of movement. The city of Luzhou in China's Sichuan province is infamously known as the City of Liquor due to its reputation as a center for the production of various alcoholic beverages, most notably mijiu. This crystal-clear liquid is produced by distilling fermented sorghum, and it can have alcohol concentrations of up to 60%. On May 24, 2023, a local truck driver was navigating a fully loaded dump truck through the packed urban streets when he had the urge for a heavy drink. Unanticipatedly, a sinkhole materialized, coming dangerously close to consuming the entire car. There were vehicles parked on either side of the street. When the tarmac suddenly gives way beneath the truck's wheels, our camera mounted on the dashboard continues to track the truck. It would appear that the truck is being consumed by the hole before it finally falls into it. It grazed a parked car, which caused the contents of the car to spill out into the sinkhole. Before opening the door, we can easily picture the driver taking a few seconds to gather their composure and regain their breath. It is undeniable that doing it in such a way would be an efficient approach to accomplishing the goal of swiftly emptying a dump truck. We feel terrible for the driver of the automobile that was involved, but at least it was just the door that was damaged. Just imagine what would have happened if the entire car had been lost in the chasm. There are approximately 1,600 residents living in the vicinity of the town of Harlan, which can be found in the state of Indiana, and is situated approximately 30 minutes away from Fort Wayne. The entire population was put to the test in March and April of 2023, when severe weather systems, including a number of tornadoes, wreaked havoc in the south and Midwest of the United States. On the 31st of March, a deputy from Allen County was traveling through Harlan when he became engulfed in the chaos caused by the disaster. He was driving through what seemed like normal rain one moment, and the next moment, he found himself in the heart of an EF2 tornado. It all happened in the blink of an eye. The recording demonstrates that the police car drove through stormy weather without encountering any significant difficulties. Nevertheless, very quickly, the ferocity of the wind increases as our deputy moves on along the gloomy road. An assortment of debris is seen flying by and in front of the car. Because of the headlights, we are able to gauge the size of some of these pieces of debris. The visibility will be completely lost in just a few short seconds. The officer makes the decision to come to a stop and wait for the storm to pass. The storm seems to have dissipated nearly as soon as it had formed, despite the fact that it is difficult to tell where the road stops and the grass begins. To our good fortune, the gust of wind did not possess sufficient force to lift the police car. Although the car was unharmed, the tornado caused significant damage to a number of properties in the area of Harlan. Damage was done to a number of Amish barns, and a great number of trees were uprooted. When one decides to become an officer, this is most definitely not the kind of circumstance that they anticipate finding themselves in. The Hengduan Mountains in China's Sichuan province are a mountain range that connects the Tibetan Plateau with the Yunnan Guizhou Plateau. Luding County, a small village in Sichuan, may be found in the center of these mountains. Because it is physically impossible to go around these mountains, any road leading into and out of the area must take a circuitous route around them. Landslides and rock avalanches are always a possibility in this area because of the regular earthquakes and persistent rainfall. A native named Gao was driving along the twisting road when he suddenly realized the importance of this lesson. When he saw an abandoned vehicle, he slammed on the brakes. Something up ahead caused his blood to become icy. Even though the rural landscapes of China are beautiful, they may also be quite dangerous. When Gao spots a boulder rolling down the road in front of him, he slams on the brakes hard. Then another one collapses in front of him immediately. In the nick of time, he demonstrates the dexterity of a movie hero by shifting the gears of his truck into reverse and backing up just as a massive boulder was about to crush him. Despite the fact that pebbles are continuing to fall, Gao is able to flee the hazardous area. He watches as the largest boulder punctures the metal barrier barrier as easily as it would a piece of clay. After everything has come to a close, Gao looks around the area and finds a cloud of dust rising from the slope of the mountain behind him. It was a remarkable stroke of good luck that saved him from being crushed by the boulders. It appears that the way ahead has been sealed off, which is quite unfortunate. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck areas of central Turkey and northern Syria on February 6, 2023, wreaking havoc in both countries. The earthquake was felt across a wide area. The catastrophe was centered in the city of Antakya, which serves as the provincial headquarters of Antalya province. According to statistics, 70% of dwellings and more than 6,000 buildings fell, and an additional 3,700 structures needed to be removed. The planet's fury was not yet done, despite the fact that the city had been reduced to ruins. A second earthquake with a magnitude of 6.3 rocked the area close to the Syrian border a few weeks later, on February 20th. The moment the second earthquake struck was captured on video by a local man who was parked next to a gas station and had his dashboard camera turned on. According to reports from journalists who were there at the scene, the earthquakes caused damage to multiple structures and shot columns of dust into the gloomy sky. Egypt and Lebanon were among the countries that reported feeling the tremor. The majority of the people in the congested streets were living in temporary tents because their homes had been destroyed by the previous earthquake. Rescue workers hurried to aid the people in the streets as quickly as possible. Between the 6th and the 20th of February, there were a few aftershocks that were felt in the area, but none of them were as powerful as the initial earthquake. In fact, the incident that occurred on February 6th was the strongest earthquake to strike Turkey since 1939. The capital city of the Congo, Kinshasa, is located in a tropical environment that is characterized by high temperatures and high levels of humidity. In the middle of December 2022, however, everything was turned upside down as the city was pummeled by several days' worth of severe rainfall. The torrential downpours immediately flooded a great number of roads and neighborhoods in the central area of the city. Landslides constituted yet another big source of concern. The earth can readily get saturated and give way when a region is flooded by sudden, strong rain for an extended period of time. The aftermath of one of these landslides was captured on camera by a resident in the surrounding area.
Ils ont mal orienté Maï dans route Matadi. Donc c'est entre Matadi Kibala na en vrac na katika tiwana. Nyomo robota là. Vous voyez? Donc entre Matadi Kibala na en vrac. Regardez ce qui vient de se passer. Donc la route ça. Il faut pas Moussala ba chinois. C'est ce que les Chinois font dans ces pays.
Maintenant, tu fais l'examen. Tous mes uniformes sont abîmés. On doit maintenant partir acheter les cours.
Bah ouais, moi.
Tous les sacs, tous les cahiers. C'est en 6e.
C'est pas grave.
J'en ai 4. Regarde ce qu'il dit. J'ai 4 examens.
Ouais. Écoute, est-ce que vous vendez une chose?
The floods had a significant impact as they were estimated to have affected 12 million people, which is the majority of the city's population. There have been at least 280 reported collapses, and over 38,000 dwellings have suffered catastrophic damage. The calamity had widespread effects, with the number of fatalities continuing to rise and the city having a difficult time recovering from the tremendous damage caused by the flood. The U.S. state of Texas is one of those rare regions that has been hit by virtually every kind of natural disaster imaginable, including hurricanes, tornadoes, heat waves, and even snowfall on occasion. This makes Texas a really unique place. There is an old proverb that says everything in Texas is bigger, and this certainly holds true for the state's climate. The city of Wiley is located in the northern section of the state and is considered to be a very tiny town, despite having approximately 50,000 people living there. The region was swept by a severe supercell storm on the afternoon of April 11, 2016, which was a Tuesday. The catastrophic effects of this storm were not caused by a tornado or by water. Rather, it was the enormous hail that dropped from the sky. A resident in the region took a video of the storm that was occurring in the area, and it shows the storm pelting cars in the parking lot. After a few moments, they decide to seek shelter, but nearly as soon as they do, the hail breaks the windows of the building they are in. Despite the fact that this storm was quite damaging, no one suffered any significant injuries. Wiley had the hardest hit of any of the locations that the supercell traveled through on that particular day. It is estimated that 80% of the homes and businesses in the city and its suburbs suffered hail damage, resulting in a total cost of nearly $300 million. On June 2, 2019, a flash flood in San Gabriel, Mexico, which is located in western Mexico, ripped over the small village and claimed multiple lives. Many roads and more than 1,000 dwellings sustained serious damage as a result of the water. At least 8 bridges were destroyed, making it much more difficult for rescue workers to reach people in need. The villagers, who watched helplessly as the flood coated their homes and vehicles in muck, were among the many who were forced to rely only on themselves.
Ayúdale. No mames.
The person operating the camera pulls back as the mud gets closer. We continue on down the street, and there we find a white horse and its owner attempting to swim through the water. Our 2 pals flee along the sidewalk as the flood appears to be decreasing in intensity. When our camera person rounds the corner, it appears like the situation is not as dire as it is, but things quickly deteriorate from that point on. The Apango River appears to be in danger of bursting its banks as mud and debris wash over the edge. Given that there had not been significant rainfall in the area prior to the flood, there were various hypotheses regarding what brought about the disaster. Some people thought that a storm in the mountains that surrounded them caused the river to overflow its banks. The deluge in San Gabriel was a catastrophe in every sense of the word, regardless of what led to it.